So I went to a conference and I heard this really, really rich, successful guy speak at this conference. And he owned a magazine company. And he was talking about how when he was in high school, he had to take the SATs, but he was a dropout. Like he didn't attend school. He hung out with the wrong type of people, and he never really applied himself. He didn't try, and so he never went to school, and he didn't even know what the SATs were. But his mom was his mom was dying. His mom was sick, and she wasn't feeling well, and she just wanted the best for her son, and said, son, will you promise me you'll take the SATs? Please, I want you to apply yourself. Can you please take the SATs? And he goes, I promise, mom, I'll take the SATs. But why? He didn't even know what the SATs were, right? But he just said, okay, whatever you want, mom, I'll take it. So he looked it up. He's trying to figure out, okay, what are the SATs? He started researching it, and he realized it's a test. It's a really big test that he has to take in high school. And so he did it. He didn't study for it, and he went in there blind, and he took the SATs. And SATs takes like 4 hours. It's a long time, but he finished. He got home, and they posted his score. They sent him a note, and he got a 1400. 1400 is nearly perfect. It's 14 out of 1600. It's really, really hard to get 1400. That means you're a genius. So he got his results, and he said, Mom, look, I got 1400. Look. And then the mom knew that his son wasn't the brightest kid. So immediately the mom said, son, how did you cheat? Like, what did you do this time? And the son said, Mom, I didn't cheat. I promise you. I got a 1400. Look, I did it on my own. I tried to cheat, but they wouldn't let me. Like I tried to look, but everybody was so far away. I couldn't cheat. I mean, I literally tried to cheat, but I couldn't. I really got a 1400. And so he told this story. Fast forward the next day in school. Instead of skipping school, he thought to himself, okay, what does a 1400 do now? Because I'm a 1400, well, maybe I need to start going to class. So he started going to class. And then he sat down on his desk and he said, okay, what does a 1400 do in class? Maybe I need to start taking notes. So he started taking notes. And then he started saying, okay, what does a 1400 do? Maybe I got to start asking more questions in class. So all of a sudden, he started applying himself and asking more questions in class, taking notes, showing up, being disciplined, like you said. Over time, he got his grades up enough to go to community college. He couldn't get into a regular college because his grades were so bad, but he brought it up, and he was able to go to community college. He got a 2-year degree, and he kept applying himself. Just keep thinking, what does a 1400 do? Now that I'm a 1400, maybe I got to do this too. And then he transferred over to a 4-year university. He got his MBA. He got his master's of business associate degree, and then he became an entrepreneur. And he built one of the biggest like magazine companies, and he was a multi-millionaire. And here he is talking at a conference. He got married, and 15 years later, he got a letter from the Department of Education at his new home. It was a mansion, a really big home. And he went in, went to the mailbox and got a letter from school. And it was addressed to him. And he opened it up, and it said, dear Mr. So-and-so, about 15 years ago, we made a big error. We swapped your score on the SATs with someone else. We sincerely apologize for this mistake, but you didn't get a 1400. You actually got a 920. And he looked at that, and it was like he laughed. And he was telling a story, and he was making a point. He said he was never 1400. Never once did he, I mean, he was a 920. He was a failing student. That's what the score said. But because he believed he was a 1400, he started to become a 1400, started to apply himself, doing the things that a 1400 student would do, even though he was never a 1400.